My name is Caroline Pitt, and I'll be discussing our work on the kids are not sort of all right, technology's complex role in teen well-being during COVID-19. So why teens? Well, 20% of teens live with a mental health condition and 50% of lifetime mental health problems are established by age 14. There are specific aspects of stay at home measures, such as those that have been implemented during the COVID-19 pandemic, that may place adolescents at particular risk because of where they are developmentally. Also, spending so much time at home make it difficult to develop autonomy, while spending less time with friends may make it difficult to nurture peer relationships that are so important to the development of identity and intimacy. Also, what role does technology play in all of this? So, in this study, we wanted to explore how Seattle area teens were affected by the pandemic. Thus, our research questions. How are Seattle area teens coping amid the coronavirus pandemic? What role is technology playing in this context? And what technology enabled strategies can support teen well being and resilience during stressful life events? To explore these questions, we conducted a study from April to August of 2020 with 21 Seattle area teens. Each participant did an initial interview about their experiences in terms of school, friends, family, technology, and so on, followed by 10 weeks of ecological momentary assessments, or EMAs, 3 times per week, asking about their feelings and tech habits. Then a second interview had them reflect on their experiences. Lastly, participants were invited to an exploratory participatory design session focused on emergent themes and problem spaces from the study. Interviews and design sessions were analyzed via qualitative coding, while the EMAs were analyzed in R with appropriate statistical tests and mixed linear models documented in detail in the paper. To track teens' subjective well being, we asked teens multiple times a week how they're feeling today on a scale from 0 to 100. What you see here is a panel of individual growth plots charting how each teen reported feeling between April and August. As you can see, there's quite a lot of variety. Some teens are feeling quite positive, some are a bit lower overall, and some showed quite a bit of spread over time. We saw the same type of variation in teens' daily reports of how worried, lonely, and connected they felt on a day to day basis. We also measured teens' life satisfaction at the start and end of the study via standard life satisfaction scale. As you can see here, there's a small but statistically significant increase between April and August, but perhaps more noteworthy is the large amount of variation between teens at both time points. Some teens are definitely doing quite a lot better than others overall. The pandemic was not the only source of stress mentioned by teens. They also included online school, missing friends, family tensions, and pre existing mental health challenges such as anxiety and depression. To give you a sense of how differently some of the teens responded to the pandemic, one participant said, I'm kind of a stress free person. A lot of the time, it's pretty much as stress free as it can be. This boy noted that his parents were still employed and all of his relatives were healthy, therefore, he thought he had nothing to worry about. This stance stood in stark contrast to another teen in our study who had pre existing anxiety and depression. This teen said, COVID 19 has been one of the biggest panic attack causers that I've ever had. In terms of technology use, teens who rated their time with technology as more satisfying on one day tended to report higher levels of effective well being the next day. So, what exactly made for a more or less satisfying technology experience for each teen? An experience that meets at least one psychological need. 3 important psychological needs we saw in the data were autonomy, as in a sense of initiative, competence, a feeling of mastery, and then relatedness, a feeling of connection to others. Relatedness came quite a bit in the interviews and in the design sessions later on. So here are a few quick takeaways from the study. Many non-tech factors affect well-being, and thus a whole ecological context should be considered. Meaning matters much more than time in terms of technology use, and meaningful technology use meets at least one psychological need, if not more. Thank you so much for listening, and please dive into the paper for more on these findings in greater detail. I'd like to thank my co-authors, our participants, and of course, essential healthcare workers for their efforts. Thank you and have a wonderful day.